Thank you. Thank you, AI gods. Thank you. All right. So we're going to do something pretty interesting today. So I am specifically recording this video to show one of my good buddies, Jeff, who we're going to be creating a podcast together. And I say podcast, but really a platform to create content, because him and I are two real estate experts. We've known each other now for more than a decade, actually, when he would have flown in from Vancouver to come and see me in Ottawa when I was hosting an event myself. I think this would have been maybe 2011, 2012. So I'm just saying, over a decade, and we've really become really good friends. He's like the king at mobile parks now. He is the person that introduced me to Airbnb, which we're crushing as a side business with my son. So the whole concept of today's video is actually how to leverage ChatGPT 4 in order to pretty much build a business model out of thin air. So follow me and you're going to understand exactly what I'm talking about. So when we're talking about ChatGPT, easiest way to get there is chat.openai.com, as you can see right there. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. Now, please listen to me very carefully. If you are going to be using ChatGPT, which I don't know any circumstance, whether you are a single mom that simply needs help creating grocery lists and meal planning, where ChatGPT can do that all with your dietary restrictions, with the elements that you want to do, whatever it is, to a super high functioning, high level Elon Musk, if we want to say. It doesn't matter. You can use ChatGPT to, my guesstimate so far since January, I'm recording this right now on April 20th of 2023. Since I've started implementing ChatGPT, now I've been using it quite a very long time, but through the programming and API, and that was so complex and complicated. But since they actually launched the chat version of GPT, I would have say about mid-November to December, my productivity has increased by at least 400%. And when I say 400%, I would probably be underestimating, and I would probably say 500 to 600%. And you're going to see here why. So I'm logging in through Google. That's just a habit that I have. Anywhere where I can log in, even if you're just brand new and subscribing, you can still hit subscribe through Google, log in. That's what's very important, because all your conversations that you're going to have are going to be here on the left, right? So you'll understand that a little better here in just a few minutes. Now, very important, I am ChatGPT Plus, so I am paying $20 a month. If you are not, you can try it for free, but check this out. If you take a look here, guys, you have ChatGPT 3.5, Legacy 3.5, and you've got 4. 4 is uncomparable to anything else. It is the highest level of artificial intelligence there is out there, and they're debating if they'll ever go even higher because it is so powerful. So I want ChatGPT 4. So please remember, if you do not see ChatGPT 4 as an option, it's because you're on the free model. $20 a month, shut up, do it. No questions. So, assuming you're already in, I'm just going to go ahead and start. So, I like dictating. So, basically, you have to tell, this is a computer. It will listen to your instructions. The great news is you can use natural language, and that's why they call it NLP. So, it's natural language, not programming. I can't even remember what it stands for. I could ask, but I don't want to waste my time doing that. But you could literally ask it as you want to talk to, let's say, your assistant, or you're writing an email, or you're giving instructions to your children or your spouse. What's very interesting is you'll start noticing how giving instructions is actually a lot harder than we seem to think, because this is a computer. It is the smartest machine in the world. So if it doesn't understand you, it's not the problem. Look in the mirror, right? I was laughing with Crystal last night about that. So let's start this. So I need to check one thing, if my dictation is going to work while I'm recording. So let's try it anyways. My buddy and I are two real estate experts, period. We are looking to create content by utilizing the podcast model at first. Period. The idea is for him and I to jump on Zoom, record on a specific topic for an hour to an hour and a half, while we go back and forth, teach each other things, and create valuable content that would be fantastic for the general public. Period. We're then going to want to cut those into small pieces, put it on our social media to grow our followings, and so on and so forth. It can't be simpler than that. I'm not done here. So now I'm going to give it a little few more instructions, because right now I'm just giving a story, right? A background. Now I want to kind of give it instructions. I just want to make sure I'm still recording. Yeah, we're good. Could you please help me with creative ideas that Jeff and I could potentially, sorry, I'm thinking and dictating at the same time here, creative ideas that Jeff and I could use to make our podcast unique. The main topic is real estate, period. But the main message that we are trying to share with the world is that anybody can create cash flow through real estate. Whether you are poor, living in the basement of your parents, don't have credit cards because your credit is tarnished, to multi-billionaires. I want it to be unique, period. Please keep in mind, we live in two locations. We will both have our own studios. So let's just start with that. Super basic. Let's see what it says, and then we start having a conversation. So let's just press enter. I'm on GPT-4. Let's do it. Boom. So it's going to start thinking. It's going to create at the top left here in a second when it's done. See, now it just created new chat. It'll change the name in a second. So I'm glad to help you brainstorm some creative ideas for real estate podcasts. Here are a few suggestions. Podcast name and branding. Come up with a catchy name and memorable branding for the podcast. Blah, 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 blah. Diverse episode formats. Okay, so obviously this is all stuff we know, okay? But hold on, that's not its power. This here is just blah, 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 blah. Follow me, you'll get it. So mix up some episode formats to keep it fresh. Some formats including interviews, real estate investors, expert industries. Okay. Location-based episodes. Some of you both live in different locations. You could focus on different real estate markets in each episodes. Okay, that's a good idea. Challenges and experience. So it's kind of giving us some ideas of what we could potentially do. Educational content, collaborative, virtual tours. All right. So it's giving us a few ideas here. Knowing the information I shared with you, period, could you help me create 4 or 5 different podcast names with a paragraph that describes what our podcast is, period. Please put yourself in the shoes of an expert promoter, period. We want to be able to have people truly understand what it is we're trying to accomplish and help the general public with. Please find 5 creative ideas for me to review. Period. Again, comma, I want 5 creative names for the podcast, as well as 5 descriptions to those names. Cash Flow Creators. Description. Cash Flow Creators is a podcast designed to help people, anyone, from basement dwellers to billionaires, unlock the power of real estate investing. Join Jeff and, it doesn't know my name, I just said Jeff, as they share their experience, personal stories, and practical blah, 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 blah. Real Estate Revolution. Description. New approach to real estate investing. Seasoned expert Jeff and Steve. Podcast breakdown. So again, it's just giving us some creative ideas to think here, because I don't know what we want to do. Property Profits for All. Real Estate Rebels. So I'm not reading them all because I already think there's a few tweaks I want to make before I even dig deeper into it. Fantastic. Period. Now, I don't want to make it only about real estate, period. Yes, real estate is the major topic, as it's the easiest way for anybody to start creating cash flow, period. But at the end of the day, what we are is cash flow entrepreneurs, period. We also run businesses. We also create cash flow through different means that are not the traditional way of a 9-to-5 job. Please note, comma, my name is Steve Martel. His name is Jeff Boyd. Knows how to spell it. Great job. Could you revisit the 5 ideas and come down to 3 of the best ideas that would really help entice people to listen to what we have to say? Please add that Steve Martel has controlled over $1 billion worth of real estate across 13 states and has taught his personal coaching students, who created over $2.2 billion worth of real estate for themselves, period. Jeff is the king of Airbnb rentals. How to make money with zero. Oh, actually, I would say rentals. How to create cash flow out of thin air and reinvest in mobile parks. The real cash cow. I think his portfolio is over 600 units. I think his portfolio is over 600 units, comma, and makes over $60,000 a month alone through Airbnb. It'll figure out, oh, my caps lock's on. Let's see what it comes up with now. Thanks for providing the information and background. Focus on blah, 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 blah. Name, Cashflow Catalysts. Cashflow Catalyst is a podcast that goes beyond real estate to explore all avenues of cash flow entrepreneurship. Join Steve Martel, who controls over $1 billion worth of real estate across 13 states, and Jeff Boyd, the king of Airbnb rentals and mobile park investments, as share their expertise, insights. Come on, Wayne. Come on. You and I, it would have taken a lot of time. I get it. We could have come up with this content. But look, I'm doing it right now. Right? And this is only the beginning. Because one thing you got to remember with ChatGPT is everything I write in this thread, it's saved. And I can come back to it and ask it a question, and it remembers us. It remembers Steve controls $1 billion. It remembers Jeff is the king of cash flow and mobile parks. It remembers all this stuff. So you don't have to restart every time. You'll follow. You'll see what I'm saying here. So which one do we like? I mean, why don't we just go with the first one, okay? For the purpose of this exercise and this video not being 15 hours here. So, cash flow catalysts. I mean, catalyst is weird. And the only reason I say weird is because the general public usually spells at a 5th grade level. And I don't see a 5th grader being able, and I've got 4 kids, I know. And unfortunately, they're terrible spellers. So for them to write catalyst, it would be impossible. So I think I'm going to go, how about we go like, gosh, again, we need to brainstorm between Jeff and I. But this is just for, can we go with number 1 and alter it a little bit to have the name Cash Flow Crusaders? Now we're just refining it. In conventional income streams, I mean, you own a cell phone shop. I've created cash flow with literally a trucking company that trucked manure to my wastewater treatment plant in order to be able to get my mobile homes into the city. So I had to expand and buy the wastewater treatment plant. I mean, I think we're pretty, this is a good description of what we do. Could you create a biography for our podcast of Steve Martel, comma, and then create a biography for Jeff Boyd? Might as well. Now, we're going to have to tweak that a lot because it doesn't know nothing about us, but look at that bio. Cash flow entrepreneur and real estate investor specializing in Airbnb rentals and mobile park investment. Known as the king of Airbnb rentals, Jeff has built an impressive portfolio of 600 units, generating more than $60,000 per month in passive income. His strategies, approaches to create cash flow in thin air and reinventing mobile parks has earned him the reputation of savvy and successful investor. As a co-host of Cash Flow Crusaders, Jeff brings his wealth of experience, innovation. I mean, come on, man. All right, cool. So, fantastic. We are just starting out, period. Please remember, we are both across the country from each other in our own studios, period. Could you please create a list of 10 topics that our expertise would be worth talking about between him and I on a podcast? Along with those 10 topics, I would like you to create bullet points on things we should address during the podcast, period. Please remember, this is to create valuable content for the listeners and viewers, period. Please think of what they most want to learn to get started and scale their portfolio. Building a real estate empire from scratch. Identify your investing goals and strategies, importance of market research and targets, building a strong team, financing options. I think those are all different individual topics. Pros and cons of investing in Airbnb properties. Understand local regulations and restrictions. Selecting the right location. Pricing strategies. Maximizing occupancy. Automatic. It's kind of writing a program for us right now, which is fantastic. At the end of the day, that's what it is, right? I think you get the idea because I'm going to show you something else that'll blow your mind. Check this out. And then I'm going to blow your mind again because we're going to have it write a contract. I want it to have a logo. So just follow me, okay? I know it's a little long, but dude, we're building a business right now. I'm not even going through. You get the idea. It's fantastic. Excellent. Period. You really don't have to be kind to it. I just don't want it to come and kill me in my sleep one day with technology in my house. So I'm being kind to it. Could you provide a script for Jeff and I for our first podcast? It's not going to write an hour script. I just want to show you what it can do. Think of YouTube videos. Think of if you're trying to create a program to teach people how to do X, whatever it is. I just want to show you the capabilities of script writing it can come up with, okay? So Steve, welcome to the Cashflow Crusader podcast. I'm Steve Martell and I'm joined by my co-host Jeff Boyd. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about building a real estate empire from scratch. We'll share our personal experience, insight, strategies to help you get started on your journey to creating a lasting wealth through real estate. So let's dive right in. Jeff says, hello, absolutely, Steve. We're all start somewhere, and today we'll be focusing on the foundation you need to build a successful real estate business. Let's begin discussing the importance of identifying your real estate goals and strategies. Because Jeff is an old British woman. Guys, come on. They're giving us idea. But Jeff and I have so much experience that we're not going to be reading a script. I'm not a script builder, but it's good to have an intro. And then I like bullet points, right? So as it keeps going here, I legit think it's going to create our whole thingy here. But it gives you an idea. Check this. It creates the content. Even somebody that doesn't know real estate can just read this freaking thing, right? Think of all these YouTube videos out there. I think, this is really important. It can only write 500 characters at once. So I like to usually, please continue. Because it's not done. It may have been though. Nope, it was not done. Our script is written, buddy. I mean, come on, right? So while it's doing that, I'm going to start giving it a new set of instructions. Let's focus more on the business of the podcast. Can you please help me create 3 logos that Jeff and I can look at for our podcast? I'll explain in a second. I am using Midjourney. So Midjourney, friends, I'm going to show you in a second, is a program that will create images based on instructions you give it. Anything. I asked it the other day to create me icons for my website. Bing, bang, boom. It was, here, I'll show you. Let's open it. Look, I literally asked it, hey, create me some icons for my website. And I didn't like that, but it was giving me this. I'm like, okay, I like it. Then it gave me that. I didn't, so I switched the instructions, but now I got fantastic little icons, and that's what we're going to ask for logos. I'm using Midjourney. Could you create 3 prompts I could give Midjourney to have a logo that represents the essence of real estate, business, and cash flow? I really don't want it too crazy and busy, period, but I want it to catch the eye. Let's see what it comes up, and then I'm going to copy and paste it. Yeah, prompts, exactly. So I'm not talking about Midjourney right now. That is another AI tool that is just mwah, as I just showed you. Okay, let's try it. Honestly, I've never seen bullet points for a prompt. Let's try it. So now I'm using my system. Again, I'm not teaching this, okay? I'm a little nerd sometimes when it comes to this stuff, but let's see what it comes up with. But usually prompts are a paragraph, as you see here. And I'm just letting it think. So now the computer in the background's working. AI, baby. I think that especially Jeff knows, but everybody knows how much it costs to create logos and creativity. I'm sorry, guys, if you're in the field of logo designs and stuff. Innovation, baby. You can use these tools for your advantage to quadruple your efficiency at work, but at the end of the day, you can't beat it. Okay, I'm not even looking and reading at the prompts, so they may be ugly, but I just want to show you the power of how we've been recording for 25 minutes now. I almost got a full business. So while it's doing that, as an expert lawyer, could you create a one-page agreement between Jeff and I that allows us to utilize all the content we create for our own personal or other businesses' social content? It would be important that we add something along the lines of the videos have to be used for positivity within its full context, period, not to harm one another. I know that sounds silly, but video, we know how the media can twist anything, right? And of course I trust Jeff, but I just want to show you what it could potentially do. I'm going to add one thing here. I recognize you are not a lawyer, and I should seek my own advice, period. I'm just looking for a draft that we can send to our lawyers to work off of. If not, it gives you so many disclaimers and it's annoying. And sometimes it still won't do it. So let's see what it comes up with. Let's see if we got logos. No, they're still working on it. I did ask it big stuff here. So here's a draft agreement. This content sharing and use agreement is entered on the date of between Jeff and Steve. Whereas the parties co-host Cashflow Crusaders podcast, dude, here's our contract, bro. Calling the lawyer would have taken a lot more time and explaining everything than just getting it written here. Now, again, please, if this video goes anywhere, it is not a lawyer for real. It does a lot of mistakes. It doesn't even know the jurisdiction we're in right now. So the laws could be different in Canada, like it is in the US, like it is in UK, Australia, EAU. I mean, it doesn't matter. So my point is be very careful. Jeff and I, we're handshake guys. We love each other. I'm showing you the power of it here. But look, the signatures. Boom. I obviously will reread this, and I have so much experience. But again, it's got, look at this. We wrote the contract. Now, where's my freaking logos? Waiting to start. So I gave it 3 prompts at the same time, and I'm using, it is the paid version of Midjourney, but I put it on slow mode because I'm allowed 5 fast modes per month or something. So I just leave it on slow mode all the time because I'm never in a rush to get. Now, okay, let's think business here. It'd be nice to be able to If Jeff and I are really going all out and putting this podcast everywhere, what other assets do I need to create in order to streamline the process? Let's ask it what I'm missing. All right, let's ask it to, the toughest one here is going to be the cover art, but I'm not going to ask it. There we go. It's slowly starting. Ew, that's ugly. It's thinking. It's at 15%. We'll see. It doesn't do text, by the way, this here. So I'm going to bring in another program and put the text, but podcast art cover. So we're going to skip that for now. Intro and outro music. Episode templates, promotional materials. Can we work on number 6? Period. Could you create the content? Actually, number 1 and 6. Can you create the content required for our website and promotional materials? Think of everything we're going to need, period. What is the podcast, comma? Who are the hosts, comma? What do people get from listening to the podcast? And I'm sure I'm missing a lot more necessary information. Please be creative and persuasive. I really want people to feel what they will achieve by listening to our podcast when going through the website and promotional material. Let's go see how the logo's. Yeah, that's not a logo. That's ugly.
When she fell down, he just started just bringing her.
All right. I mean, it's a little weird for logos here. I can't say I'm impressed. I mean,
he said that he would
it's cute. This one here, stacked coins.
and then he was like, no, I think she needs to sleep.
But I feel like it's taking my icons I had above. Like it's learning my style a little bit. But that isn't my style. I just accepted it because I don't get... You see what I mean? Like it's very similar. But I don't really care that much for the icons. So I didn't put too much work into it. So we may ask it a little more. So let's go back here. Podcast. Cashflow Crusades and damn blah, blah, blah. We already know that. Host biographies. We got it. Benefits of listening. Learn proven strategies. Discover testimonials. Content. Invite visitors to subscribe to the podcast preferred platform. Social media links. Add buttons. Promotional material. Design eye-catching graphics. Could you create a paragraph for the benefits of listening to the podcast? So again, that's what ChatGPT 4 does, guys. I was just editing very quickly here, putting my intro and outro, and I kind of thought of a few more questions as I was going through the video very quickly here. When I go on other people's podcasts, I usually, sorry, I'm reading here at the same time. I usually have a producer reach out to me and so on and so forth. And I don't understand that world. So I want to ask ChatGPT, how should I structure my business? And more importantly, I also thought I created a contract between Jeff and I, but I don't have a contract for potential guests that come on. And that's about it. But I just wanted to add those two things and maybe add in a business plan. Just step by step, something simple. Just kind of show you guys its full potential. I know it's already getting a little long here. I am reviewing our thread period. I'm realizing that I know nothing about running a podcast, period. Could you help me guide me on how it all works, period? What are the positions? How do you schedule this in advance? How long should I wait before posting it? Everything that I can't imagine, because I've never been in this business. I just don't know what a producer is, what they do, the editor, so on and so forth. Please enlighten me. Planning. Choose your podcast niche. So we've kind of been doing that. Decide the podcast name and logo. Convert it to art. Again, I haven't touched up the logo here. Plan the content for each episode, class and topic. Hosts, main presenter of the podcast, producer, the person in charge of the overall production of the podcast. When content planning and ensure high quality audio and editing. They also coordinate guest scheduling. Okay, so, I mean, it reminds me kind of watching, I was going to say Cheers, but Frasier, right? With Roz, the producer. So, editor, graphic designer, to me, that kind of makes sense. Social media manager is very important. Now, set up your test recording equipment, microphone, headsets, audio. So that I clearly have all the setups for. Record your podcasts and episodes, either solo or with Jeff, the co-host. If you're hosting remotely, use a platform like Zoom or Skype or Zencast, of course. Post-production, publishing, choose a podcast hosting platform. Promote your podcast, scheduling, plan your episodes. All right. What is the optimum number of podcasts I should be recording, period? Either on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. I'm hoping once a week is the answer. Yeah, the obvious answer is weekly. If we're deeper into mega research, but we're not. We're more conversational because it's all about our experience. Excellent. So I think producer is my most and biggest concern. I have never hired a producer in my entire life, period. Could you please help me? 1, create a job posting to find the best podcaster, period. 2, create a job description, create the duties necessary, and provide me with a draft contract for me to bring to my lawyer, please, between me as a business owner and the podcast producer. I don't know why I didn't write it, but the podcast producer. Podcast producer. Join our dynamic and growing team. Like no other company in the world says that. We are seeking an experienced and highly motivated podcast producer. Join our team and help produce top quality podcasts. Responsibility. Collaborate with hosts to plan research, develop content and ideas for the podcasts and episodes. Manage pre-production tasks, ensuring high quality audio, smooth edit, mix, podcast, blah, blah, blah. Coordinate the release schedule and distribution. Collaborate with marketing team to promote episodes. Continuously monitor. What about hunting down guests? I feel like that should be a really important one. Shouldn't a producer's job also include finding talent or guests to appear on the show? And all the other duties necessary to make that happen. Okay, so look, guys, the contract here. So we're seeing the duties, the requirements. I'm missing a few things here. I'm going to tell it. Job description will blah, blah, blah. the duties, blah, blah, blah. So this is all the information I want for my job posting on Indeed or Monster or whatever I'm going to use. And here's my agreement. Now, again, it's a draft, right? Now, remember 500 characters, okay? So please continue after. No, I'm going to not confuse it. Too many instructions at once sometimes mixes it all up, just like a human. So it's writing a simple agreement, right? I'm going to have to go through it. I'm going to have to go through everything necessary, of course. So I'm going to repaste the few things I want. Should I not? To make that happen. There we go. Please think of other items I may not be thinking about, period. Remember, I'm not the expert. And then I want, can you now create me a welcome email? No. Thank you email for everyone that applies for the position. I would like a second email template that I could send to people when I want to meet them. So the email should consist of a time and Zoom link with compliments, excitement, description of the podcast itself, and the bios of co-hosts. Let's go with that. Now, what did it say? Yes, podcast producers can be responsible for finding and booking the guests and appearance on the show. This may include researching potential guests, reaching out, scheduling interviews, coordinating logistics, blah, blah, blah. So then they added some of the responsibility of podcast producer, okay? So now I'm not going to re-ask in front of you on this recording because you're going to fall asleep here for it to redo the whole job posting and contract and duties and responsibilities. I'll do that off air, but I wanted to show you, okay? And now it's creating, okay, so subject. Thank you for your interest in the podcast producer position for our show, Cashflow Crusaders. We appreciate the time and effort you've taken in this role, blah, blah, blah. Our team is currently reviewing an application. It's going to take some time. We will get back to you. I'm sure that's what it says. I'm not even bothering here. Thank you. Interview details. Cashflow Crusaders is Steve Martell you're going to be meeting to interview. We are thrilled. We're missing Jeff. Please add Jeff, our co-host, to the second email. So I'm not afraid to tell it. Excellent. So now we've got that. What did I say I wanted to show you guys? I should have written it down, but I wanted to have a better idea of how the business works. I'm not going to dig into graphics. I could totally say, okay, can you now create me a job description for a graphic artist? Audio person, filmographer, like so many other things I could add that it was already sharing. I'm not going to do it right now because I already have on my own team, but you could totally just continue asking. As the dumber the question, the more it's going to help you. Don't try to outsmart the machine. Really, really, really focus on trying to give it exactly the instructions that you want. Let's do one last thing and then we're going. Could you please take all the information I've shared and create a business plan which outlines the goal, what the podcast is, what makes us unique, what are the exact action steps for us to take to make it a success. I hope you guys are just reading. I'm just reading instead of reading it out loud here. Objective, create, produce, high quality, establish a strong online presence, consistent release new episodes, attract high profile guests, monetize the podcast, unique selling points. Co-host Steve and Jeff possess a wealth of experience and knowledge in entrepreneurship. Podcast focuses on real life strategies. The podcast will cater to individuals of background. Podcast will feature engaging conversations, action steps, set up a professional recording studio, hire a podcast producer, develop a list of potential guests, create a content calendar, develop promotional materials, promote a podcast, engage with audiences. So I just, again, want to iterate. It doesn't matter who you are, what your job is, what your business is, what your role in life is, whether it's on the personal side, on the financial side, on the health side, on the relationship side, on how to raise your children, how to speak to your parents better, how to deal with your neighbors if you're in a bad or great situation. It doesn't matter. It will help you process everything super fast. And then you can literally ask it to create whatever you want. If it's a contract that you need, or a specific speech, or a proposal for your wife, it doesn't matter. It is there to stay. It is not going anywhere. Whether you decide to use it or not is up to you. But if you're not going to use it, it will use you. Thank you. Thank you, AI gods. Thank you. Okay, so this is a deal I'm buying. Springfield divorced, okay? So this is a house I'm purchasing. The owner, one owner owns, husband and wife split up 20 years ago. Wife still lives there. Husband has been paying the mortgage for 20 years. He's sick and tired. His current wife can't take it anymore, which who in the world would be able to take it? And he said, Steve, give me 35 grand. You get my 50%. That's it. That's all. The house is worth 250 grand. Fantastic. Now, what I want to know is, I'm almost, actually, I'm going to ask it two questions. I would like to know, what is the worst case scenario in this deal, period? If I give Lex $35,000, period, am I capable of evicting her out of the home if she is a 50% owner, period? Please keep in mind, she has not paid any mortgage ever in the property. And the bank is very close to foreclosing on them. So this is a convo I had on the 16th, 4 days ago. It remembers everything. Now it's going to say, I'm not an attorney and blah, blah, blah. But if you acquire Lex's 50% ownership for $35,000, you become a co-owner of the property. To evict the ex-wife, you may need to pursue a partition action, which is a legal process to either divide the property or forces its sale if it can't be divided. This can be a lengthy and costly process, and outcome might be not guaranteed. However, the fact that the ex-wife hasn't made the mortgage payment, property foreclosed, might be a strength in your case to partition action. If the bank forecloses on the property before you can complete the eviction, foreclosure may eliminate the owner's interest in the property, including yours, and blah, 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 blah. You're not giving me a lot of information here. I'm going to leave it at that, okay? But check this out. As an expert attorney, period, could you provide me with a draft memorandum of understanding for Lex and I? Based on all the details I've provided so far. Please think of every potential scenario that may arise where I either need Lex's help, comma, protect my interest, dot, dot, dot. Let's see if it will. Usually, I'm not an attorney. I cannot provide. Did I say draft? General outline. It's not doing it. I know you're not an expert attorney, comma. All I want is to provide a draft to my lawyer to work from. Can you take all the details I have and give me a draft MOU, please? Look at how many angles it's working. All the dots are different brains of the AI working. So it gave me all that I need in it. Don't tell me no. I just want the draft, man. Ah, see, here's your draft. It's the way you ask it. It's so bizarre. Introduction. Okay, so while it's writing, let's go see how our logos are becoming. I mean, look, it's trying. It's trying. It's just me. I'm not even reviewing what the prompt of GPT-4 is giving me, and I'm just copy-pasting it. But if you can see, it's trying to create a logo. If I refine it a little bit more, it will create it for me. Let's say I kind of like this one, okay? I want different versions. So I press this button. Now it's going to think and give me 4 new versions based off of that one, okay? Let it work. Let's look at our MOU here. For the purpose of MOU, outline is this. The property is currently co-owned by X. The purchase of X. Excellent. Check what I'm going to add in a second here. I mean, I'm just recording what I have to do anyways on my to-do list today. Let me show you another something. Last night, I got an email from one of my property managers in Florida and Panama City Beach reminding me May 1st is our renewal time for one of our rent to Airbnb properties. So it was a really tricky situation because I paid for a hot water tank. I shouldn't have, but I had guests that were so amazing. I couldn't reach the property manager. I said, I'm just going to do it myself. Hope to get reimbursed. Well, that was 4 months ago, and I never told the property manager. Now she wants to get renewed. And I'm thinking, holy crap, I paid $2,800 for a hot water tank, then I want my money back. So I wrote bullet points. Now let's see here. I want to show you. Oh, before I press, hold on. Can you create a clause where the goal is to give $35,000 to Lex over the next 12 months, period? Objective number 1 would be to cover the payments of the current mortgage, which is around $10,092, period. Once we successfully evict the ex-wife, comma, we will give a $5,000 check to Lex, and then divide the remainder for the next 11 months, paid monthly. Let's see if it understands what I just tried to say. Payment structure. The total payment of $35,000 with 50% ownership shall be made as follows. Mortgage payments. Buyers shall make mortgage payments directly to the bank on behalf of the seller to current mortgage. Post-eviction payments upon a successful eviction, $5,000. Remaining balance. The remaining balance of the $35,000 payment. I need it to be clearer. I need point C to be a lot clearer, period. The total sum shall not exceed $35,000, period. I'm telling that to you, GPT. Actually, I can't say that because it will write that in the contract. It's not the smartest thing in the world. 35,000. Clause C should be $35,000 minus the 10,092 minus the 5,000, and then do the math of the remaining of approximately 20,000 divided by 11 months. I think that makes sense. Payment structure. Ignore the hot water tank thing. All I'm saying is you can also create bullet points. Here's my situation. I messed up. I paid a hot water tank 4 months ago. Never told the property manager. Now they want to renew. I think it's the perfect time to leverage that to ask for a free month's rent. Can you please create me an email that is sound, makes sense, and the property manager would absolutely say yes. And I kind of want to go. So here it is. Shall be approximately 19,908, right? 20 grand. This is amount equal payments made by the buyer to the seller. These payments will commence on the first month. All right. Can you now add the payment structure back into the MOU? Period. But write a clause to protect Lex if I was to ever default on my payment for any reason. Actually, I'm going to show you the power of writing an email here. Let's go see the logo. Oh no, it's still thinking. It's really slow today, but it's getting more and more popularity, right? Their servers are like overwhelmed. Obviously, I would not take this MOU and send it, okay? I have gone through at least 2,500 contracts in my entire life. Probably more. I have a very slight, I would consider my legal expertise to be 10% of a lawyer, okay? This at least gives me a framework to work off of. I am confident enough to send it based on my experience. You be careful. It could forget a lot of things. It could really put you in trouble. It can, so again, very, very, very careful in what you do with this kind of power. But you see, at least it gives you a starting point. For me, I'm going to send it like this. I will review it off camera, really scrutinize it, probably change quite a few things, but I'm going to redo it through prompts, give it instructions. But that's all it is. It's a conversation. I'm talking. What's up? What's going on? What's happening? That's it. Where's my payment? Oh, no. Payment structure. It's on number 3. Excellent. Excellent. That is great. Period. Could you now create an email draft for Lex based on everything I've included in this conversation? Remember the tone for the first email we created together, comma. Now I want to create an email sending the MOU and explaining what it is. I am sure he's expecting $35,000 up front, and he goes sailing off to the Bahamas, period. But I really need to explain the amount of risk I am taking by going through a legal process to evict the ex-wife, period. My goal is to alleviate all the pain that he would have to go through that legal process, period. I want to explain that to him. For now, I am super comfortable taking over those payments so you never have to hear about her again, period. I will go through the legal expropriation, period, not expropriation, but eviction, comma, without ever bothering you unless I need a witness or some more data from you, period. Once that's handled, then I'm more than happy to go off the money is yours. All right. So that's the last thing. Create me an email. And I'm done. Now I'm going to copy paste, put it in a Word doc, really scrutinize it, go through it properly, send the email as an attachment for him to review, and we go from there. But ChatGPT, we did this together now. How many things? I created a business. I wrote a contract. I wrote an email, all within whatever time. I'm guesstimating we're at probably 50 minutes. I didn't look at the time. But look, it's explaining what it is. It's explaining the payment structure. It's explaining my reasoning. It's explaining how.